Hi, my name is Sam and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is time for another controversial topic that I wasn't actually planning on talking about, but because it's been requested, today we are going to talk about why I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, and I don't even like soft drinks, and I'll tell you more about that as well. Before we start, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also comment and do let me know what you think about this topic. And now let's get started. Now, the reason why I wasn't planning on talking about this is that I do not want to sound preachy. I do not want to come across as if I'm trying to convert you, to not drinking. It's not my intention. I have mentioned the fact that I don't drink in the past because it was necessary and important to the topic that I was talking about, but I never go around telling people that they shouldn't drink. So I'm afraid that this video will sound preachy because obviously I will tell you why I don't do something that a lot of people do, but it's not my intention at all. In fact, even in my normal life, I don't mention it too much because I don't want people to feel uncomfortable. I don't want people to think that I judge them for drinking. I only mention it if it's vital to the conversation. If they offer me a drink, I say no, I don't drink, and I only tell them why. If they ask me, I would never start a conversation about why I don't drink, just as a general fun fact. So I hope that's the way it will come across. Again, it's just a friendly conversation. We've talked about all sorts of crazy things on this channel, so why not talk about this? So yes, I'm a complete teetotaler. I don't do anything. I don't do any of the things that people would consider fun, but that doesn't make me boring. In fact, I will tell you a few funny stories. Now, why don't I drink? A lot of people, when I tell people that I don't drink, I can see that they feel very, very uncomfortable and they freeze because they don't really know how to react. And some people just go with it and they say okay, but some people even ask me straight away, straight to my face, if I am recovering or if my dad is an alcoholic, because basically unfortunately we live in a society where if you don't drink, there must be some kind of trauma or some kind of deep, dark reason behind it. Luckily, the reason why I am very happy to talk about it very freely is that there is no trauma. I am not a recovering alcoholic. My dad is not an alcoholic. My mum is not an alcoholic. There is no trauma related to alcohol or any kind of substance abuse in my family, luckily. So mine is just a personal choice that stems from no deep scar in my soul. So I have never drunk in my life. It's not that I used to and then I stopped, so I'm not. So technically I don't think I am sober, because I think sober implies that you don't drink anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I would describe myself as a teetotaler, or I simply say that I don't drink because I've never done it in my life. For two reasons. So there are reasons why I don't do it. First of all, I do not like the taste of alcohol. Obviously I have tasted it, I have tried it, but I really don't like it. I don't like the aftertaste of it. And I used to be a waiter, so I had the chance to try a few things here and there. I tried beer, and I can't believe that as someone who doesn't even drink, I used to, pour pints and make a couple of cocktails, very basic ones. And when oh gosh, I still remember when I pulled the pint, the stench of the beer just engulfed me, and I tried it, and I just, never mind the presence of alcohol, which is also on emotional level, which is something that we will talk about later. But I don't understand how you guys can do this to yourselves. I mean, the smell is horrendous, the taste is even worse. I don't understand why someone would put themselves through that pain, but I understand that some people actually genuinely like the taste of it, so it's, personal taste and preference. And we also had spirits, and I tried a couple of them. When I say tried, I mean a drop, and some of them are quite nice, I have to say. I remember I tried Malibu, which apparently is a very gay spirit, I've been told, and it's very telling and funny to think that that was the one that I gravitated towards immediately without knowing that there was a correlation and a connection with being gay. So, yes, if I didn't know that I was gay before that, well, that's a confirmation. And I liked it, because I like sweet things. I have a terrible sweet tooth. So I liked Malibu, but then when the aftertaste of alcohol hit me, oh, no. And I tried Paseo, the passion fruit spirit, and again, I liked it until the alcohol hit me. So alcohol is just not for me. So I would drink literally to get drunk, because I would derive no other kind of pleasure from it. Now, so this is a very physical reason why I don't drink. I just don't enjoy it on a taste level. And then there is a moral, psychological reason. Now, I am strongly against anything that alters your state of mind. So that's, out of the two reasons, that's the main reason why I don't drink. Because yes, even if I don't like the taste, but if I wanted to get drunk, I could, put myself through the pain. I could plough through it and then get drunk. But I am against the idea of getting drunk, and this is where I hope I don't come across as preachy, but hey, it's too late to back out now. Now, why don't I like that? That's why I don't, when I say, I don't smoke cigarettes, and I'll tell you, that's my dream. It is my dream to smoke cigarettes. What a life goal. But I don't do that. And then when I say that I don't smoke, I mean I don't smoke weed or any drugs, basically. I don't take any kind of elements that alter your state of mind and your alertness. Now, why is that? Over the years, I've gone through different reasons and different thoughts and different stances as to why I am against it, and I'm not going to lie, I used to look down on anyone that did anything related to these extracurricular activities. So if someone drank, which is everyone on the planet, I thought less of them. But over the years, I've grown out of that, and now I have a different perception and I have a more aware reason why I don't like your mind to be altered. So I find it really sad. Basically, that's it. I find it really sad that people need external help to be happy. I know people drink for different reasons. If you're sad, if you're terribly sad, then you want to drink to forget, so that's a different kind of reason. But let's take no trauma, nothing terrible, a normal night out, especially here in England. People drink, like everyone in the world, and I know the English have a terrible reputation for drinking, and I agree with that to some extent, but everyone all over the world drinks on a Friday night. But yes, then there is a drinking, an extremely toxic drinking culture here, that is true, but it's not about your Friday and your Saturday nights, it's about how you get introduced to drinking, in my opinion, and maybe we'll talk about that later if I remember, or in another video. So let's take a normal Friday night and people drink. I find that really sad. I'm sorry to, I'm not even sorry because it's true, but hey, I find it really sad that people need extra help to have fun, to have a good time. That's what really, really saddens me inside. And again, now I don't look down on people anymore, so I don't mean it as, you know, with any malice, or I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I feel very lucky that I don't need it. I feel extremely lucky that I don't need any help to have fun. So when I go out, I'm a dancer, I'm also a singing drag queen, so I love performing and I love dancing, as in clubbing, yeah. But when I go clubbing, for me that means no drinking, just dancing, and I love it, and that makes me happy. That is, I call it like liquid happiness, but I don't have to drink it, I just have to do it, and it's there. And again, I feel extremely lucky that I can just do that, just dancing to pop music, yeah. As you know, if you watched this channel before, I don't do techno, I don't do electro, because, you need some serious drugs to enjoy that. But, so that's not my kind of music, but if you bring me pop, that is ecstasy for me. That is free ecstasy. And again, it just saddens me that people need alcohol, and that's what I don't like. I don't like the fact that people need alcohol. They think they want it, but actually they need it, and that is what is terrible. And I'll try to remember to talk about something that I've discovered recently about drinks that give you a buzz but they have no alcohol, and they are obviously made for sober people, and I also disagree with that. But yeah, so, and it doesn't have to be clubbing. If I go out to see a show, even a drag show, I don't need anything to make me like the show. Well, if the show is good, obviously. I can just enjoy it. I don't need any extra help. And I remember, so there is a sort of gay music festival called Mighty Hoopla, and I will link it here because I've talked about it recently. And it's a 2-day thing. It's a Saturday and a Sunday, and obviously there is a lot of alcohol involved, also sold at the venue, but also people take all sorts of drugs and all that. And I will never forget a couple of, maybe last year, my friend was doing both days, and on the Saturday he looked miserable, absolutely miserable, and I thought the atmosphere was great. There are a lot of singers, and even if you don't like the performers, the atmosphere is electric, so you can't not have a good time, in my opinion. And he looked miserable, and I asked him, are you okay? Are you enjoying this? And he said, I mean, yeah, not as much as I could be enjoying it, because I'm not drunk enough, because I'm pacing myself, because I'm coming tomorrow as well, so I don't want to go too hard. And that's the definition of why I don't drink. He could only enjoy it if he was drunk, and I think that is terrible, absolutely terrible. And as I've maybe, you know, by the time this comes out, I don't know if I will already have talked about physical exercise. I think so, but I think that alcohol, along with physical exercise and social media, is one of the 3 weapons of mass destruction. Alcohol and everything that alters your mind, but obviously alcohol is legal and more easily accessible. because this is why. This is the thing that I reject, the fact that we live in a society where, and again, to be honest, I don't even blame society, but the way the world works is that people need to drink to have fun, and I think it's really, really bad. Again, I can't stress it enough, I can't say it enough. And if you go to a show, when I see that people drink, I just find that so bad. And don't get me wrong, I know for a fact I have friends that genuinely love the taste of wine or beer or spirits or whatever, so I can see that I don't have that. So I can see that there is a natural attraction to the drink because you actively like it. I don't drink anything, and I don't like fizzy soft drinks. My poison is peach iced tea. I love peach iced tea. And this is pathetic, I know, and Lidl has recently started doing 0-calorie peach iced tea, and on its own you can tell something is missing, but I don't have sugar anymore. I use stevia instead, and if you add a little bit of stevia to it, it tastes like normal, amazing peach iced tea, and I could drink it every day, any time of the day. So if that were offered at a theatre, yes, I would probably. Would I buy it? Maybe, yes. So the same way I would be drawn to peach iced tea, I can understand that people are drawn to alcohol simply because they like the taste of it, they like the taste of the drink, of the cocktail. So there doesn't have to be a negative ulterior motive, so there doesn't have to be the idea of wanting to get drunk. So if you drink just one glass of wine, I assume that doesn't make you drunk, I wouldn't know. So I can see that there is good drinking, let's say, and what I would call bad drinking, because it then gets you drunk. But yes, so let me rephrase that about the theatre. When I see that people need, drink a little bit more than just what would look to me like they're just enjoying the drink, but they do want to get a buzz out of it, that's what I don't like. So yes, that's basically the reason. Again, I don't have any traumas in the family. I'm not recovering, so it's not like I know what it means to be constantly drunk, and I don't want to be that. And people are fascinated, shocked, a bit horrified sometimes when I tell them this story, because they don't understand it. And the best way I would describe it is this: if you see a stone on the floor, on the ground, your brain doesn't give you the impulse to eat it, because as human beings we are not programmed to eat stones. So the same way you don't get an impulse or a stimulus with a stone, I don't get that stimulus with alcohol. So some people assume that, when I say I don't drink, and they say, oh, you're being very good, well, maybe tonight, or in general they say you're very good, almost as if they're implying that I am forcing myself not to drink because I know that drinking is bad for your body, for your mind, and all that. But no, that is not my case. If I see alcohol, my brain doesn't give me the stimulus to drink it. So it's not a case of me really wanting alcohol but then telling myself, no, drinking is bad. I don't even have to go through that process. I just see the bottle and look somewhere else because I'm not interested. And what makes me even more sad is when people say, oh, you can have this if you don't like the taste of alcohol, which is true. I mean, if I say I don't drink, people, not everyone then investigates, although we'll talk about that as well. But some people just say, oh, you can have this cocktail because I can assure you can't even taste the alcohol. And that's the epitome of the sadness that I want to run away from. So you are telling me that if you drink this amazing cocktail, I'm not saying that cocktails are not good, but you're telling me that you're happy to pay for a cocktail with alcohol that costs a lot, at least here in London, but you don't taste the alcohol. So my question to you is, then why don't you get a virgin alcohol, a virgin cocktail, if you can't taste the alcohol? But then people want the alcoholic cocktail, because they want to get the buzz, and that's what makes me sad. It's the fact that you need the buzz. If you can't taste the alcohol, why don't you just get the same cocktail but as a mocktail? And I know obviously that the alcoholic beverage adds flavour to the cocktail. It's not just pure alcohol. It's, you get Malibu, you get Passoa, you get all sorts of spirits and all that with their own individual flavours. I understand that. But I remember, oh my god, when I was a waiter, not only did I pour pints, but we had like 3 very simple cocktails, and also we did gin and tonic. Oh my god. So I just had to pour the gin into the glass, that was it, and then I had the little can of tonic, and the smell of gin, it just smells of bleach. I don't know how you can do that to yourselves, but most people love it, so it must be good, but I don't want to know. But a couple of years ago I went to Rome to see a friend for New Year's Eve, and one of the people that were coming she wasn't pregnant anymore, but she'd only just given birth, so she couldn't drink, basically. So she bought a virgin virgin pink gin, and she said, "Sam, you can try this because it's alcohol free, and I've tasted it, and it tastes exactly like normal gin, so you wouldn't tell the difference." So I tried it because, just as a scientific experiment, and oh my lord in the heavens, it was vile. But again, I understand that that's just not it's just not for me. People must like it. So again, the fact that people say, oh, you can't taste the alcohol, then get it alcohol free. So yes, that's taking drugs or taking alcohol or anything that alters your state of mind. Yeah, I don't like the fact that people seem to need it and they can't live without it. And yeah, maybe especially here in England, because also this is a place where I've lived the most, I do think that there is a plague. So people drink so much and it's so accepted and normalised that I don't think people realise that most of them have what I would describe as a problem. Because for me, again, the fact that you depend on the need of a buzz, that's a problem. Now, whether you drink 10 bottles of wine a day or a glass, obviously yes, one glass is okay, but what I don't like is the need of the buzz. And I don't know why Facebook keeps showing me this ad of this alcohol-free drinks that still give you some kind of buzz. Now, I don't know what they put in these drinks. I did not look into it. So again, this is just a very basic, ignorant opinion of a drag queen. And I think the name of the website that promotes it is like something about being sober. So obviously these drinks are made for people that, again, if you say sober, I automatically think that you used to drink and now you don't drink anymore. but again, I might be wrong. So it's made for people that can't drink alcohol for addiction reasons, but they still want a buzz. Now, I was in shock because again, this is just the way I perceive the negativity of anything that affects your mind. Yes, obviously alcohol-free drinks are better for your body, because also I just want to mention that the reason why I don't drink is not related to health reasons. Obviously, yes, if you drink, your skin suffers and your liver suffers, all of that I understand, and I'm not downplaying it, but that's not what stops me. I mean, I eat very healthily, unfortunately, so I'm sure my body could take a drink or two, so that is not why I don't drink. So these alcohol-free drinks, obviously they are better for your body because they don't affect your liver and the rest. But then I was like, but they still give you a buzz. Now, I assume they will not land you on the floor, and you won't be throwing up all night from drinking these alcohol-free drinks that give you a buzz. But again, isn't that what addiction? That is the mental addiction that I don't like. The fact that you still want a buzz to enjoy something. That's what makes me sad. So I was like, I'm not entirely sure that sober people should advertise this. Then there was a comment from a girl that said that she is allergic to alcohol. She's physically allergic to alcohol. So this is great for her because that's the closest to being drunk that she can get. Now, although I am against getting drunk, I accept that a little bit more because she's not recovering. She's not trying to get away from drinking. She wants to drink, which again I don't particularly agree with, but she wants to drink, and this is the best she can get. That I sort of agree with, if you know what I mean. But the fact that sober people promote the idea of a drink that still gives you what I think is the real addiction, the mental addiction, I find that to be terrible. But again, what do I know? I think the reason why you become sober, and again I have no knowledge of this, I don't know anyone, I mean not deeply, I've never talked about this with anyone too much, but the reason why you get sober is to get away from the addiction and the need to have the need of extra help. But maybe some people just get sober because they don't want the aftermath of being drunk, so they don't want to be hungover and they don't want their lives to be dictated by how they feel the day after. So again, or maybe there are several reasons why people may want to become sober. But anyway, that really baffled me. It really baffled me. Now, you will never believe this, but especially in the past, when I went clubbing, because I'm a dancer, so when I go clubbing I don't just bob up and down, I dance. A lot of people came over to me asking me for drugs because they assumed I was on them based on the way I dance. And I used to take great offence. I mean, I don't even drink sparkling water just because I don't like fizzy drinks. There is no deep emotional reason behind that. And I was like, do you know who I am? I mean, I don't even drink sparkling water. So I used to be furious. But then, once I went to a friend's house with a few other people, and we all started dancing in the house, and my friend made a video of us, and he showed it to us, and I watched it, and I was like, who's that guy? What's wrong with him? And it was me. Because he filmed me from the back, so I couldn't see my face, I couldn't see that it was me straight away. And yes, the way I dance, so I thought that guy was on drugs just by watching him. I was like, oh yes, he's taking something. So after that video, I never take offence if someone asked me for drugs after seeing me dance, because I would make the same assumption. And the very funny thing is that a while years ago, I used to go to this club with a friend. We were not a couple, we were just friends, and we often just ended up going out together to this club where they play pop music. So I was in complete ecstasy, and he was very, very drunk and I wasn't. But because he was dancing like a normal sort of bobbing like that, and I was dancing, you have no idea how many people went up to him asking him if I was okay, because basically it looked like we were together, we were just close friends, and I was so drunk or high on something that he'd taken me out dancing so I could dance it all off, where I was completely sober and he was drunk. So yes, now I don't take offence anymore, because I completely understand. But funnily enough, in recent years, people haven't really approached me, maybe because so many people have so many drugs already that they don't need anyone to give them any. But yes, that's my relationship with alcohol. Now, there is no deeper reason why I don't like soft drinks, and I have to be more precise. I don't like fizzy drinks, simply because I don't like the feeling of the fizziness in my mouth. So I don't like Coke, I don't like Fanta, I don't like Sprite. Actually, I love the taste of Fanta and Sprite. Coke I can live without, but I don't like the fact that they're fizzy. So when I go to a pub, I take a Diet Coke just so I can be in the pub. Obviously I need to pay for something. I would never buy alcohol because obviously I don't drink it, and also since it's so expensive and I am morally against it, I would never pay for other people's alcohol. All my friends know that. I'm happy to pay for my own Coke, but I do not condone alcohol, especially at that price that we have here in London. So yes, I do get a Diet Coke when I go out because I can't do anything else. I wouldn't order, well, in England you can have tap water, but I feel really bad because obviously it's free and it's bad for the pub. I wouldn't order still water in a bottle because I would pay for it, but no, I'd rather pay for Diet Coke than water. Also, they might be more or less the same price anyway. But yes, I don't like fizzy drinks, so sometimes I buy Fanta or Sprite from a shop, but I degas them first. So usually, like, I leave them, I keep shaking them, and then I open the bottle and then I close it again to get all the gas out, and then I leave the bottle open on the fridge, not in the fridge, on the fridge, so the gas goes out more. Because also, no, I don't actually, to be honest, I don't know if the gas leaves the bottle quicker if it's warm, but I don't like cold drinks either. I mean, really. And so yes, I degas them and then I drink them when there will always be a little bit of gas in them, but it will be minimal enough for me to enjoy it. And I'm a drag queen, I'm a singing drag queen, I perform in pubs and bars, and all drag queens drink a lot of alcohol. I don't know how they do it now, never mind the moral implications that I don't like. I simply don't understand how their bodies can cope with the amount of alcohol that they drink. But anyway, so when I perform, the bar staff, they just expect me to want alcohol, so they ask me what I want, and they expect me to say vodka and this, vodka and that, and rum and blah 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 blah, and I just say I want tap water. I don't even want still water because I prefer tap water. I want tap water with no ice because it's bad for your vocal cords, and no lemon. And you should see the look on their faces because they think I'm pulling their leg. and they just don't understand. So sometimes I have to repeat it, and I have to specify that I do not want any ice or lemon in the water. And then the funny thing is that usually after the show they ask me, okay, so what do you want to drink? Really, because they think that the only reason why I didn't drink was that I was working, so I wanted to be sober on the job. But then again, no, still tap water with no ice and no lemon. I don't drink anything else, especially from a pub, because I wouldn't get a Diet Coke if I'm performing. So I am paid to be there. I wouldn't get a Diet Coke because I do not like the fizziness of it. So yes. And going back to what people ask me and how people react. So again, usually people just say, oh, and then they move on, or they're a bit shocked. But some of them ask me straight to my face, are you recovering? Or, usually that's what they ask me. Or some people then also say, is there any alcohol related trauma in your family? And I obviously say no, and I don't mind. And to be honest, even if I were recovering, I don't think I would mind saying it, because obviously there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just surprised that, especially in England, where everyone is very overly socially aware, you always try not to make people feel uncomfortable, you don't say what you think because you need to be politically correct. I'm just shocked that English people would ask me without necessarily knowing me. If it's a friend, of course it's fine, we can have a bigger discussion about it. But if it's someone that I've literally just met, again, I take no offence, and even if I were recovering, I wouldn't take offence. I just find it very bizarre that they would. It's not even that they need to pluck up the courage, they just ask me straight away. And I think it's because it's so shocking that in this world somebody wouldn't drink, that they can't even contain their confusion. So they must know what on earth happened to me to drive me to this drastic decision, which again is what makes me really, really sad. I'm really sad that we live in a world where we automatically assume that someone has to have gone through some kind of trauma if they don't drink. I think it's devastating for society to be in that place. So, and again, everything that I've said about alcohol applies to drugs and even smoking weed, because again, as far as people say, weed is the least harmful to your body, blah 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 blah, and especially artists use it to unlock different parts of their brain so they can be more creative. Now again, as an artist myself, I can see that point a little bit more, but I personally do not want to have my alertness and state of mind altered to have fun. Again, I consider myself so lucky that I don't need extra help. But also about sadness. If something sad happens, you need to go through it anyway at some point. So the fact that something bad happens today, and today you say you want to drink because you don't want to think about it, I mean I get it, but I also don't get it, because it's just about delaying the fact that tomorrow the sadness will still be there and you will have to live through it and get through it and go through it. So again, what's the point? My question is, what is the point? And going back to having fun, actually, obviously, I am sure it must feel incredible to be tipsy or drunk enough, so where you are at that state of pure bliss and happiness. I wouldn't know where and when that stage is. I don't know what it feels like, but I mean, it must feel good enough for people to do it over and over again. So I'm not saying that it's I'm not denying the positives of alcohol and all those drugs in general. But then what I really, I mean, this is not even a moral question, it's just a logistical question. Then people drink too much and they forget what they did the night before, so they wake up and never mind the hangover. That is irrelevant to me. But people drink to have fun, but then they don't remember having fun. They just assume that because they don't remember the night, it must have been a great night because they drank a lot. And I can sort of understand that maybe when you get to that stage of euphoria, you may not even be able to control your drinking. So at that stage of euphoria, you would be fine and you would remember the day after and you would remember the euphoria, but then maybe your brain is not strong enough to tell you to stop. So again, because I've never experienced it, I don't know how it all works. But yes, if you don't remember, what's the point? The whole point of life for me is to make memories, but hopefully more good ones than bad ones. But yeah, I mean, what's the point in me going on holiday today if in 2 days I don't remember? I genuinely don't get it. So again, I can of course, although it saddens me that people need extra help to have fun, I understand that they want to have fun. So I understand that the reason for resorting to alcohol and drugs is a good reason, let's say. It comes from a good place. But then, if your life goes on as if that had never happened because you don't remember, and you just assume that you had a good night because you don't remember it, again, I'm just lost for words. But again, you tell me, because I obviously have no first-hand experience with this. I said earlier that it's always been my dream to smoke cigarettes, and yes, I love everything about smoking. I love when you light the cigarette up, I love the gesture, I love the fact that you blow smoke out of your mouth. And I have tried cigarettes before, but earlier I said that the reason why I don't drink is not related to health. Smoking, however, is, because also I'm a singer, and the idea of damaging my lungs, I can't take it. My brain won't allow me to do that. And I know there are a lot of singers and performers in general that smoke. So yes, you can do that. You can smoke and still be a good performer. But I just can't. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to actively and knowingly damage not just my lungs but everything else. And oh gosh, I'm so pathetic because I don't smoke. Especially when I was younger, I used to pretend to smoke, like even pencils. Like I used to have small pencils that looked like cigarettes, and I would just do this and pretend to blow smoke out. And I loved it. I loved just even pretending was almost enough for me. But then when I then tried real cigarettes, I was actually a bit disappointed, because if you smoke a pencil, when you try to suck the smoke in, you get resistance from the pencil because the pencil is full. Whereas if you smoke a cigarette, because the cigarette is hollow, there is air coming through it, obviously. I don't know, the feeling of literally, it's like smoke, it's like sucking a straw. You just get this surge of air that I don't like. I prefer the idea of smoking a pencil because I like the resistance that the pencil gives you, so you really need to give it a good suck to get the imaginary smoke. And another reason why I don't smoke is addiction. Now, I think I have a fairly addictive personality in terms of things that I like. If I like something, be it a TV series or a video game, or a type of food, if I like it, or a song, oh my gosh, I am someone who listens to the same song. Like when I go for a walk usually I try to walk 90 minutes a day. If I like a song, I can listen to the same song for 90 minutes on repeat, non-stop, and the day after, and the day after, and the day after. If I like a specific food, and if I can eat it, and it falls into my dietary requirements, when I discover it, I then eat it and eat and eat and eat and eat. Then I sort of go off it a little bit, so I will stop listening to the same song for 90 minutes every day. Then I will reduce the amount of that food that I eat. So I think I have an addictive personality in that way, and I have to say, if I smoked, I would probably be dead in a week, because I don't think I would be able to stop myself from smoking. But that's also what I don't like. I don't like the idea of addiction. Obviously, if you smoke, you will get addicted to the cigarette, to the nicotine and all of that, and I don't like that. If I smoked, I would want to smoke only when I want to smoke, only when I feel the need, for whatever reason, even when I just want to have that feeling of the cigarette in my hands and between my fingers and all that. I wouldn't want to smoke just because my body is desperate for nicotine. So, I mean, I'm happy that I don't smoke in the end. I mean, if smoking were non-addictive and it didn't damage anything in my body, I would probably do it every now and then. But obviously, it is all of those things, so I can't really do much about it. So yes, on that note, I will let you go. Let me know in the comments how crazy you think I am for not even drinking fizzy drinks. And I hope I wasn't too preachy. I hope I didn't make you feel bad if you do drink or do any of the other things that I don't do. It was never my intention to make you feel uncomfortable. And on that note, I'll shut up and then we'll let you go. Bye bye.